5 interesting facts about the Arctic Ocean, the world's small ocean that is being fought over. As we know, 2/3 of the Earth's territory is ocean, including one of them is the Arctic Ocean. Talking about the Arctic Ocean, most of us will probably immediately imagine it as a vast ocean without end like other oceans in the world. Reporting from worldwildlife.org, just like other oceans, the Arctic region is actually a vast ocean. What makes it different is the expanse of ice that covers almost the entire surface. Apart from the ice cover, the Arctic also holds many interesting facts that not many people know. Are you one of them? 1. The name Arctic is inspired by the constellations. While most places are named after the first person to discover them, the Arctic Ocean has a different fate. The name Arctic itself comes from the Greek word Arctos, which means bear. This name was chosen not because polar bears dominate parts of this region, but because it was inspired by the name of the constellation of the Great Bear or Ursa Major, which always covers the northern hemisphere, including Arctic Ocean. 2. The Arctic is the smallest and shallowest ocean in the world. When compared to other oceans in the world, the Arctic Ocean is the shallowest ocean with an average depth of around 3,406 feet and the deepest point reaching 17,880 feet. Apart from being the shallowest, the Arctic Ocean is also the smallest ocean, only able to cover 4% of the Earth's territory. But make no mistake, even though it can only cover a small part of the Earth's surface, this ocean has an area that is not approximately 14% million square km. With such a large area, the Arctic Ocean could easily cover all of Europe and the United States at once. 3. The Arctic Ocean is often a point of contention for many countries. At first glance, the Arctic Ocean looks ordinary, just a vast sea with a surface covered with ice several meters thick. But who would have thought that deep at the bottom, the Arctic Ocean stores abundant natural resources? Reporting from LiveScience.com, the Arctic Ocean is estimated to hold around 90 billion barrels of oil and a quarter of the world's natural gas. As a result, many countries are competing to claim the Arctic Ocean as their own so they can access these resources for their own interests. This idea of course faces opposition from conservation agencies, because it could harm the environment and the animals that live in the Arctic Ocean. 4. The Arctic Ocean is home to many wild animals. In contrast to Antarctica, which is only inhabited by a handful of people, the area around the Arctic Ocean is inhabited by more than 4 million people. Some of them are indigenous tribes, while most of the others are residents of neighboring countries such as Norway, Russia, Iceland, and Canada. Not only humans, this region is also home to a lot of wildlife. Starting from polar bears, seals, Arctic foxes, beluga whales, walruses, Arctic wolves and many other animals. 5. Global warming is causing more and more ice to melt in the Arctic Ocean. Basically, the Arctic Ocean is always covered by large blocks of ice. But when summer arrives, some of this ice will melt and refreeze in winter. Sadly, climate change makes the temperature in the Arctic Ocean warmer every year. As a result, the ice layer in the Arctic is getting thinner, and many of these giant pieces of ice are even melting without ever freezing again. If left unchecked, this will cause many disasters ranging from rising sea levels, changing chaotic weather, to the extinction of polar animals that live in the Arctic region. The Arctic Ocean is not as big as the Atlantic, let alone the super-wide Pacific. But the existence of the Arctic remains important for Earth, for animals, and for us humans.